So you saw a TikTok. Some guy in a food truck, sunglasses on, flipping a smash burger, captioned, "Quit my 9 to 5, never looked back." Line of 12 people, sold out by 1 p.m. Looks like the easiest money on planet Earth, right? Buy a truck, park it somewhere, sell tacos, become a millionaire by fall. Cool story. Let's talk about what actually happens. Because I promise you, that guy did not wake up at noon. He was up at 5 a.m. scrubbing a griddle in a rented commercial kitchen he doesn't even own, paying rent on a truck he's still financing. And he will spend tonight power washing grease off a floor mat so the health inspector doesn't shut him down next Tuesday. But sure, never looked back. Very inspiring. Let's get into the actual numbers, because the internet loves vibes and hates arithmetic. First, the truck itself. A decent used truck, already built out, already inspected, already has a paint job that isn't embarrassing, runs you somewhere between $35,000 and $75,000. Sounds like a used Tahoe. Feels manageable. Except a used truck is used for a reason, and that reason is usually the last guy gave up. The generator's tired, the hood vent is one grease fire away from becoming a news story, and you won't find any of this out until you fail your first inspection. At which point, you'll spend another $8,000 to $15,000 just getting the thing legal. Congratulations, you bought a truck twice. Go custom and new, and you're looking at $80,000 to $180,000, which, fun fact, is also the price of a very nice house in most of this country. But hey, at least the fryer comes with a warranty. Most people land somewhere in the middle. Used chassis, gutted kitchen, rebuilt from scratch, and end up around $90,000 to $130,000 all in before they've sold a single taco. Fire suppression system alone, $6,000 to $12,000, because apparently not catching on fire is a premium feature now. Now, the paperwork marathon. Here's the part nobody puts in the caption. You are now in a relationship with your city's government, and it is not a healthy one. Business license, food handler certification, fire department sign-off, health permit, parking permit. First-year compliance in a major city averages close to $30,000 once you count everything. $30,000 before food, before fuel, before you've made a single dollar. And some cities are just built different in the worst way. Certain major cities cap the number of full-year truck permits, so the waiting list isn't years, it's decades. Multiple presidential terms. So what do people actually do? They rent a permit off someone who's been sitting on one since the Clinton administration and has zero interest in ever running a truck. That's not a workaround. That's basically an urban legend that happens to be true. After year one, budget $600 to $1,500 a month just to stay legally allowed to exist. Not food, not gas, just the privilege of not getting shut down. Then there's the commissary. Rent, but make it mobile. Here's the twist that ruins everyone's day 1 week in. You are legally required in almost every major city to operate out of a licensed commercial kitchen called a commissary. You prep there, you store there, you dump your gray water there, you clean there, and, surprise, you pay rent there. $800 to $2,000 a month, every month, whether you sold 400 tacos or 4. So the no rent, no landlord freedom of food trucking, cute idea. You just have a landlord with worse hours and a reservation calendar. Miss your booked prep slot because traffic was bad? Enjoy showing up to lunch service under-prepped. The truck didn't free you from a lease, it gave you a lease with wheels. Let's talk about the menu trap. Everybody's instinct is the same. Build a big menu. More options, more customers, more money, obviously. Except every extra item is another ingredient to store, another prep step at 5 a.m., another thing your one employee has to remember correctly while 11 people are yelling their order at him. A 12-item menu doesn't impress customers, it just quietly murders your ticket speed. The trucks that actually make money run 4 to 6 items, tops. That's not a creative limitation, that's just math wearing a chef's coat. Fewer items, faster line, less spoilage, happier bank account. And here's the actual trick almost nobody explains. Pair your expensive hero item, the brisket, the Wagyu smash, whatever's Instagrammable, with cheap sides that carry insane margin. Fries, rice, a canned soda. Your $9 Wagyu burger has a food cost around 40%. Your $4 fries have a food cost around 12%. The fries are quietly paying the rent while the burger gets all the likes. That's the whole business model, right there. And nobody ever talks about it because fries subsidize the star of the menu doesn't fit on a truck wrap. Now, fixed costs. They don't care about your feelings. Fuel and generator diesel, $400 to $1,200 a month. Insurance, auto, general liability, equipment, because apparently 3 separate policies is the bare minimum for a moving kitchen, another $250 to $600 a month. Maintenance on a commercial vehicle you're beating up daily, $300 to $800 a month, assuming nothing actually breaks. And when something does break, a transmission, a compressor, a generator, that's $3,000 to $7,000 gone in a single week. No negotiation, no payment plan. The repair shop does not care about your feelings. Add it up, and a legally operating truck costs $3,500 to $6,500 a month just to exist before a single ingredient gets bought. That's rent for a business that's supposed to have no rent. Let's follow one $14 order all the way down, because this is where the fantasy quietly dies. Sales tax takes roughly 8% off the top. Call it $1.10 you never actually had. Down to $12.90. Food cost at a disciplined 30%, another $4.20, down to $8.70. Packaging, box, napkins, sauce cup, because apparently sauce cups cost real money now, another 65 cents. Card processing fees because Square and Toast need their cut too, about 50 cents. You're at roughly $7.50. Now subtract labor. Even if it's just you, your time isn't free. And if you've got one employee, fully loaded with payroll tax, you're allocating about $2 to $2.50 of that labor cost per ticket. What's left? About $5 a ticket. $5 to cover every fixed cost we just listed. If your monthly overhead sits around $5,000, you need to sell roughly 1,000 sandwiches a month just to break even. That's about 33 a day, 6 days a week, rain or shine. Except it's not rain or shine, because rain cuts walk-up traffic by up to 80%. The sky is now a business partner, and it does not communicate well. Speaking of which, weather is your business partner now. Summer over 95 degrees, walk-up traffic drops 40 to 60%, and the inside of your truck turns into a convection oven that also happens to be cooking your staff. Winter in a northern city, expect a 40 to 60% revenue drop from November through March, while your insurance bill, your loan payment, and your commissary rent show up exactly on schedule, completely unmoved by the concept of seasons. The truck doesn't get a winter break, only your revenue does. Very fair system. Now let's talk about the Roy Choi problem. Everyone's mental benchmark is Kogi BBQ, the Korean-Mexican truck that basically invented the modern food truck hype cycle in LA back in 2008, built a cult following on Twitter, got written up everywhere. Incredible story. Also basically unrepeatable. Right concept, right city, right decade, right platform being early enough that just tweeting your location was itself a competitive advantage nobody else had yet. For every Kogi, there are thousands of trucks with genuinely good food parked 2 blocks from a competitor on a cloudy Tuesday, watching a line that simply never shows up. Not because the tacos were bad, but because the arithmetic of foot traffic doesn't actually care how good your tacos are. Here's something else nobody warns you about. Scaling doesn't double, it multiplies. Buy a second truck thinking revenue doubles? Sure, and management complexity somehow quadruples. Now you need a shift manager, doubled inventory coordination, 2 commissary schedules, 2 sets of permits. 1 inconsistent shift on truck 2, and suddenly your 5-star reviews start reading like a customer service horror story. The smart operators use the truck as a proof of concept, validate the menu, build the following, then pivot into catering contracts or a brick and mortar. The truck is the pilot episode, not the whole series. Now, catering is the actual cheat code. Festivals sound amazing, $5,000 to $20,000 gross in a weekend, until you realize the organizer wants a $500 to $3,000 entry fee plus 15 to 30% of your gross, and if it rains Saturday, you already bought and paid for the inventory. Congratulations, you paid to lose money outdoors. Corporate catering, on the other hand, is boring in the best way. Fixed headcount, fixed menu, prepaid deposit, indoors, zero weather risk. Margins regularly hit 20 to 35%. 2 or 3 steady corporate clients ordering bi-weekly will do more for your sanity than any viral TikTok ever will. It's just less fun to film. So what's the real take-home? Industry averages put a typical truck around $300,000 plus in gross annual revenue at roughly 6 to 9% net margin. Run the math, and that's somewhere around $20,000 to $30,000 a year in actual profit for most operators, working 60-plus hour weeks. The ones clearing $50,000 to $80,000 a year are the disciplined minority. Low debt, tight food cost, a real catering pipeline, and they're the ones running the grill, not paying someone else to. Divide that by the hours actually worked, and a lot of successful food truck owners are quietly making something like $15 to $25 an hour running their own company, which is a wild sentence, but also just the honest one. So here's the bottom line. A food truck is not a shortcut around the restaurant business. It's the entire restaurant business. The leases, the permits, the payroll, the health inspections, just compressed into 18 feet of steel and shoved into a 2-hour lunch window with the weather occasionally reaching in to personally ruin your Tuesday. The people who make it work aren't the ones with the best tacos. They're the ones who treated a truck like a real business instead of a lifestyle photo. Tight menus, real cost tracking, a cash cushion, and zero illusions about what freedom actually costs per month. If you still want to do it after hearing all that, genuinely, good for you. Just budget for the fries. The fries are the ones actually paying your rent.